Greetings everyone, this is Too Tall Turtle here today, and I have a theory for you. Summer is here, and so is Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 3. This season will be the longest season of Fortnite history, so how are they going to fill it with content throughout the entire season? Now around this time Fortnite takes a break, so they won't be here the entire time, so there has to be something to keep the community busy. I believe there will be content and different challenges such as Summerfest, which of course will come with challenges and hopefully LTMs. But what's going to be in this mid-season update? There has been rumors of hoverboards coming back, but there's one thing that's still on my mind is the mid-season update new POI. Now with seasons from the past, there will be a new POI around mid-season. It could be from as cool as the Polar Peak melting down in mid-season, boom, you got the Infinity Sword, or as lame as the Mandalorian hut, and that's all you get. But due to the reality tree spreading already to Logjam, I think old POIs will be coming back to this map. We've already seen this with the chair from Chapter 1 and Dusty Depot's building, and also the shark, that these old POIs seem to be appearing because of the reality tree and all of the tree's reality. This tree is the key to the mid-season update, and I will be predicting a few POIs that could possibly be joining us on the Chapter 3 map. Starting near Logjam, I have placed Happy Hamlet in between Rave Cave, Logjam, and Shifty Shafts. Now this area is a little bit hilly, so I think the POI might need to decrease and become a little less populated. But other than that, I think it might fit very nice and snug in between these three POIs. And with the tree already being on its way to Logjam, maybe this is what it's after? Who knows? My next POI that I'd like to talk about is Pleasant Park in between Shifty Shafts, the Daily Bugle, and Sleepy Sound in Corny Crossroad. Now I believe there have been some leaks or at least some talk about Pleasant Park coming back, and I couldn't really figure out a good place to place it on this map since there's so many hills and Pleasant Park is a relatively flat area, and if you look, I kind of just ended up putting it right into a river. But beyond Pleasant Park, I believe Sunny Steps may be another good opportunity of a POI returning. Now Sunny Steps was already in the exact area next to the Daily Bugle. It's already been set up, it's just not big enough to be its own POI. I think that's a little bit unfortunate because Sunny Steps is one of those more interesting POIs to drop by, especially since it's near the edge of the map and then you can rotate to Daily Bugle, Corny Crossroads, Tilted Towers from then on. Now one thing about these POIs coming back, I don't think they'll look exactly the same as they did from the old map. It's not like Season X where all these reality bubbles kind of just formed over POIs, making them new. I think it will be more of like the Greasy Grove kind of mushroom thing everywhere, whatever that biome is, instead of it just being plain old Happy Hamlet or Pleasant Park. From a lore standpoint, we can see at the end of the trailer for Chapter 3 Season 3 that there's this person controlling this tree, and I think they're trying to take over this island while we're just vibing. That's why the season's called Vibe, and all of this is happening under our noses while the legend Jonesy and the Seven the Rock are off on their adventure to find Geno, or whatever that guy's name is. Back to the journey, let's take a little trip down south, and I believe Paradise Palms would be a great addition to this desert biome, especially in this space because there is already enough room to add a POI, but it's just kind of underused by Mancake Shack or the gas station and Little Town, especially since Paradise Palms is kind of like a relaxed tilted environment. It would be a great fit just right in between Synthesis Station, which I completely forgot they still had this chapter or season, Chonker Speedway, and Rocky Reels. Especially if the zone sets there, it's a great in-between area for all the fighting to occur, instead of that just boring kind of shack where there's not much cover and there's not much to see or do. You just get lasered from, like, I don't know. My next POI prediction is Tomato Temple, and this one has a lot backing up for it. I think this POI will return. I don't know necessarily where. This is my best guess because there's already a temple there, because if you look at the battle pass, Snap has a tomato head on him. Now sure, this could just be for random use or anything, but why not Durburger? Why not Cuddle Team? Actually, Cuddle Team Leader's coming later. Why not the Taco Head? Why Tomato Head? And with Tomato Temple already having made a appearance because of a like time loop or whatever happened, I don't really remember, but I remember something happened where Tomato Temple replaced Tomato Town, and it was like it was like a rift in time. Why can't that be happening here? And this is the origin of Tomato Temple, or maybe from a different reality. I don't know where I'm going at this point. This is way too complicated than it should be. This temple would be in between Rocky Reels, the Sanctuary, and Jones's. Now, my final two POIs are interesting ones I'd like to see. Is in between Tilted, in between the Sanctuary, Corny Crossroads, and Rocky Reels is Dusty Depot. Now, this is probably the least likely to come back, I mean, other than Pleasant Park in the middle of a river, because there is no meteor crash yet. And if it were to come back, I would believe it'd be some sort of sinkhole, or like caving in with all the trees' roots trying to spread throughout the island, instead of it being a giant meteor falling from the sky. It would fit the map pretty well, because in the chapter 1 map, if you were to compare them, they do match positions pretty well. Same as like the volcano and the lake and Tilted, everything just kind of matches. And I think that might be just not just a coincidence, but who knows. Fortnite likes to add fun things. My last but best POI I think will be coming to this map by the end of the season is, drumroll please, Coral Castle. Yes, Cypher PK, I'm making sure this POI has a comeback and returns right between the Daily Bugle Sanctuary and the Joneses. Now, it already kind of fits the little ocean area, and if you do look, it does take over the giant rock statue, but maybe the giant rock statue could be part of the temple, and the temple just opening it up for the party, just for the vibe. It'd be kind of interesting since the Sanctuary is next to it, but it would need some buffs, because Coral Castle beforehand, especially with like in the top left corner of the map, no one wants to land there. But with this placement, I think it could work. Maybe even the middle of Loot Lake, it would work well. But other than that, I think that Coral Castle would be a good POI to place right around there, just next to the Sanctuary, to make things nice. Now, I think these POIs, or at least a few of them, will be coming back, or just new POIs being added, because this map's kind of been lacking POIs. Sure, it has the same amount as POIs as Chapter 2, but I want Chapter 1. And I think one of the things that made it very special is the fact that there's so many POIs. If you were to count near, like, let's say Season 9, they have 21 POIs, where now in this map, we only have 15 POIs. That's a pretty big difference, especially since the POIs necessarily weren't big. They're just kind of leeways and gaps in between areas, where if you travel in between areas, it's kind of lonely. It's kind of not as full as I wish it were. Especially with Sleepy Sound, like, this POI is so awesome, but why do they have to put it at the top of the map, just like shove it in the corner? Why couldn't they just put it, like, I don't know, like in between Reality Tree and Tilted Towers and Rave Cave? That'd be a good area, like in between a river. But that doesn't really matter. The fact is that they need to add a few more POIs, because I want there to be more options. I feel when I'm playing Fortnite, I'm like, okay, where should I drop? And then I'm like, okay, I've been there, I don't like this, it's not as fun. Why, since the station's still here, I want there to be more options. Especially, I want to go to Greasy Grove and then have to rotate to Tilted Towers and then rotate to Corny Crossroads. There's a lot of gaps. Well, what if I dropped at Synthesis Station, went to Paradise Palms, Rocky Reels, Dusty Divot, Corny Crossroads, Pleasant Park, and Sleepy Sound? That would be crazy. And with more on the map, sure, it's more chaos, and they're kind of ramping up slowly, since like even at Chapter 1 Season 1, there was, Chapter 3 Season 1, there was only 14 POIs, because the Mountain POI wasn't even there, so it was even less full of different places to drop. But other than that, make sure to like and subscribe, and comment below which POI you want to come back the most. If this video gets a lot of support, I'll probably do more Fortnite content, and if you want more Fortnite content, then just like this video and I'll see that you want to see more. But other than that, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all later.